Bible Students Courses, Course 1, God. Unit 1, An Introduction. Lesson 1, Who is God? Out of him and through him and for him is all. Romans 11:36. In Genesis 1:1, the Bible states that God created the heavens and the earth. The Scriptures do not try to directly prove the existence of God. There is the assumption that God exists and that he does not try to convince anyone that he is who he says he is. What God does do is to demonstrate to all of creation that he is the all in all. Over and over, the Bible tells of God's love, power, mercy, grace, fidelity, dependability, and a number of other traits, probably too numerous to list in this short lesson. We are his creation, and as such, we are bound by the limitations he has placed upon us. Romans 9:14-24 gives us a clear picture of the reality that all is out of him. Not some things or most things, but all things are out of him. God is the placer and subjector, and nothing escapes his attention, for he created it all, and he created it for his purposes and for his pleasure. We, as the created, have no say in what he has done, or what he is doing, or will do. But we can be assured that what God has done, is doing, and will do will all be for his glory and our benefit. He is not only the God of our performance, but also of his performance. It is what he does and not what we do or try to do. We are simply the actors on his great stage, and he is the master director, placing everyone where he wants them and directing them to accomplish his purposes even as we think that we are the God of our own lives. Even our having faith and how much faith we have is determined by God. In Romans 8:28, the Apostle Paul tells us that we are aware that God is working everything together for the good of all humanity, not just believers. It is just that very few know this fact. Those who are called know this fact. To clear up a common misconception, God does not call people to salvation, for all will be saved, but his callings are for service. In every era, God has called out a small number of people to fulfill special roles in service to him. In fact, God gives faith to those he chooses, and he blinds, yes, blinds, the rest of humanity, and locks them in stubbornness and in being unable to be persuaded about him, as well as locking them under sin. All will have faith in due time, but this time is not that time. God has no beginning and will have no end. Nothing existed before God, and whatever does exist now exists because God called it forth from within himself. He is the first cause and the only cause, and nothing came about without him. He did not create out of nothing, but all that he created came out of himself. Romans 11:36 states, "Out of him and through him and for him is all." If we are going to understand God and his word, we must start out with God first and understand as much as we can about God and his ways, and then proceed to man and what God has for humanity. This is being God-centered. Religion has it backwards. Religion starts with man and then proceeds to God. In religion, man is centered on what he can do for God and how he can perform for his deity in hopes that his deity will reward him. The emphasis is on man's performance and on man himself, as if God was dependent on man for anything. This leads to a man-centered universe where God is not needed. Eventually, man becomes his own God, the arbitrator of what is right and wrong, and begins to believe that he can solve his own problems, and hence there is no need of the God of the universe. Yet it is God alone who is operating all in accord with the counsel of his will. God said it, and it is so.